Shawn Mendes, There's Nothing Holding Me Back, and we have 4 chords in this entire song, and they're in exactly the same order. So this is ideal for people really getting to grips with playing along to a full song, but there's some cool little bits that we can add also. So the basic chords with a capo at the 1st fret, which is important to keep this in the key of the original, are a G major chord, a D major chord, an A major chord, and then finally a B minor. Now we have a couple of options with this B minor. We will be playing it as a power chord a little later on, so just like this, and we'll talk more about power chords in a second, but I wanted to just cover this B minor chord, which was the same one we looked at in my tutorial for Castle on the Hill by Ed Sheeran. This is the way he plays a B minor in that song, and that same sort of cheat or technique works exactly the same here as a substitution for that harder B minor bar chord. So that would be this way, and then the general pattern of the song. If you need more help with those individual chords, check out these lessons from the free version of my beginner's course. That will help you nail the change between the G and the D in particular. But just to give you a couple of pointers here, we're playing this all fingers G, so a G with all 4 of our fingers, so that we can keep the 3rd finger down between this change between the G and the D, like this. And then the 3rd finger also stays down when we go to this way of playing a B minor. So that 3rd finger acts as an anchor point, and it means that we never have, all our fingers off and wonder where we're going to be. We've always got that fretboard contact, which really helps. And then I'm playing an A chord, 3 fingers in a line like this. But you could use the same anchor finger idea and play an A major chord like this. Again, if you haven't come across that way of playing an A, the video is just in the top corner, right here on YouTube, but the link's in the top corner up there. So that is how to essentially play this whole song with just basic open chords. However, in the verses, he's really just playing what we call the root notes of these chords, so the bass notes of these chords. And those are, for the G, it would just be the thickest E string with the middle finger. 3rd fret still, exactly the same. And then we're going to move up and play the root note of the next one. It's what is now 6th fret. Not paying attention to the capo, it's in this gap. So the dot here would be at 3rd fret, 5th fret, and this is 6. And it sounds like that. And then we'd slide down to the 2nd fret, so we'd have. Like so. You could also play the open D string, or just one more time. And then finally we're going to play that same note again, but to the open A string, to string 5. One, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 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 2, 3, and 4, and that is the same rhythm that we will play those open chords to that we just covered a second ago. So starting from the G with the same rhythm in 2, 3 open chords. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 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 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and In the chorus, Shawn Mendes also plays this with what we call power chords. So we take those root notes, those single notes that we did in the verse, and we make this shape, which is like the thickest 3 notes of a bar chord, but we only have to play the root note with our first finger and the third and little finger. That would go like this, just to give you a quick demo. I've swapped just this last chord, rather than going for the open A, to a thickest string power chord, so that I can do this little slide down, which is quite audible on the record, and I just thought I'd show you exactly accurate to that before we look at the little melody that I know you're dying to learn, that little lead guitar part at the start. But let's just cover these power chords one more time. So it's a 3rd fret power chord, starting from string 6. Then we move up to 6th fret, to the 2nd, proportionate to the capo, same as those root notes again. And then we stay at the same fret here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Awesome, so that's all the rhythm sections. Let's get straight onto this little lead part now. To be able to play it at the same time as doing a root note, in that fashion, we want to just learn it at 2nd and 4th fret, proportionate to the capo, with our 1st and 3rd finger. And we're going to pick the 4th string, just pluck it with our 1st finger or play it with a pick. 1st finger on that 4th string, that stays down, but we hammer on the 3rd finger at the 4th fret, again proportionate to the capo. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1st finger sounds like this, hammer on with the 3rd finger there. It's a very quick one. And then back to the 1st finger, just playing it there. For the timing of it, it is far easier to just kind of know how the record goes and to try and jam along to the record to really get it. But as a rough estimate, it is 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. I'm doing a couple of little taps there, which bring it to life a little bit. The second bar of the little lead part would go to here. That would be 1st finger at 4th fret proportionate to the capo, hammering on with the middle finger. And then we would be back where we were before, and then we just play the root notes with the thumb. Now that really steps it up in difficulty. I wouldn't recommend going for that if you are a beginner. What I would go straight on to do is learn this an octave higher. And it's what is called an overdub, which is the lower part and the higher part played together by either 2 different guitarists or the same guitarist on the recording. That's what you hear, and it's actually both of these parts. Each one over the top of each other, so there could be 2 guitar players, but you can do it on the same guitar with what is called an overdub. And it would be all the same finger motion, so our 1st finger here is on the 3rd string at 10th fret. This is my double dot where that F is. This is where the 2 dots are, where my guitar ends. 1st finger here, 10th fret, 3rd finger goes down at 12th fret. Get used to doing that first, and then we slide it up 12 and 13. Exactly the same as what we did down lower. From the top, so for the introduction and So for the introduction and for the end of the chorus, in 2, 3, 4. And that is all sections of this Shawn Mendes song. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. The tab for this song is available on the website and the chord sheets, and you can check out more of my free guitar tutorials on YouTube by clicking these links.